So hey guys, and today we're going to talk about the Wi-Fi security management in computer and mobile. So basically, the meaning of Wi-Fi is it is a technology. It is basically a technology which will allow electronic devices, which will allow electronic devices to connect to the internet and communicate without wires. So, this is basically the meaning of Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi basically stands for wireless fidelity. How many of you connect your phones or laptops to Wi-Fi when you're outside, say in cafe, railway station, or even college campus? Now, here's the thing. Whenever we connect like this, our data like passwords, chats, even bank details can actually be stolen without us realizing it. All right. So today we're going to talk about basically about Wi-Fi security management in computers and mobiles and how much it is important in our daily lives. So for introduction, as I said before, Wi-Fi stands for wireless fidelity, and it is a technology which will allow us to connect our electronic devices to the internet and communicate without any help of cable wires. And it basically uses radio waves to, actually it uses radio waves so that the devices like computers, mobiles, or TVs, or even gadgets can connect to the internet without the cables. The radio waves is the main thing which actually helps us to achieve that kind of a thing. And why is it so important nowadays? Because it is essential in our daily lives. We do the browsing or attending online classes, etc., and streaming, work, and communication. All of these things happen online in a daily basis. So it is very important, and it is also being used in a very large scale. And as the Wi-Fi use grows, risk also grows. That the hackers and cyber criminals target weak Wi-Fi to steal personal business data. So this is the very important risk factor that we have to consider when we are using Wi-Fi in the outskirts, where like cafes, college campuses, etc. And there is a real world example as well for this, where free fake Wi-Fi at airports in Australia. A man in Western Australia who allegedly set up fake free Wi Fi networks in airports, mimicking legitimate networks, and people who connected were tricked into giving login and personal data. And one more thing, what the survey data is telling us is, according to McAfee, 25% of travelers are hacked while using public Wi-Fi abroad, and 40% have had their personal data or personal information compromised through such kind of a Wi-Fi. And so that is the thing about uh, you know the Wi-Fi security. And when we come into the main topic, that is Wi-Fi security, so basically Wi-Fi security is like the steps that we take to keep our network safe. And the main goal of Wi-Fi security is only authorized users can access the Wi-Fi. So that is the main goal of Wi-Fi security, and it protects the data that is being transmitted or that is being received. So in short, the meaning of Wi-Fi is it is a technology that enables us to connect our electronic devices to the internet and communicate without any cable wires or wires. And it keeps us connected without the wires. But the same comfort can become a danger if we do not use it properly. There are so many risks also which are involved. That is where the Wi-Fi security actually comes into the picture, and it makes sure only the right people can use the network and that our data stays safe all the time. And so yeah, that is all about the Wi-Fi security. And there are some Wi-Fi security protocols which help us achieve this kind of a security. So, with the Wi-Fi security protocols, here's the hook. Imagine you leave your house door unlocked. Anyone passing by can just walk in there and take your things or even sit down and use your Wi-Fi without you knowing it. Now, instead of a house, think of your Wi-Fi network. If it is left open, strangers or even hackers can enter and steal your data or misuse your internet. And that is why Wi Fi security protocols were created. And they are like the locks. They are like the locks on your Wi Fi door. And over time, these locks had to be upgraded because thieves or hackers kept finding new ways to break in. So, in simple words, a Wi-Fi protocol, a Wi-Fi security protocol is a set of rules and techniques. So it's a set of rules and techniques. It decides how data is encrypted and protected when it travels between your devices like phone, laptop, and the Wi-Fi router, etc. So that is basically what Wi-Fi security protocol means. And a Wi-Fi security protocol is just like it's a set of rules and techniques, and that decides how data is encrypted. And so there are like a lot of Wi-Fi security protocols available. They are WEP, WPA, and then WPA2, and then WPA3. So these are the available security protocols. So there are basically four types of security protocols that are available for us, and they are WEP, WPA, WPA2, and WPA3. And so the thing is, let's first talk about the WEP, where it was the earliest, it was the earliest introduced privacy network. It stands for wired equivalent, and then it was introduced in 1997, and then it was a 40-bit encryption. So if we want to talk about WEP, it had static keys, which means the encryption key never changed. Imagine locking your house with the same key forever, and everybody knows it. If a hacker figured it out once, they could keep using it. This is one of a point of why it was weak. And there was another reason why it was weak, that it had short keys, which means WEP mostly used 40-bit keys or 104-bit keys. These may sound big, but for hackers they were tiny. Computers could guess them by trying all the combination in just minutes. And there were many other flaws like this. Like there was no real protection against the tampering. Like if someone altered a data packet, like changing the pay 100 to pay 1000, WEP couldn't always detect it. And then comes the So, if we talk about WPA, it was later introduced after WEP. It stands for Wi-Fi Protected Access. It was basically introduced to overcome all the challenges of WEP, and it was developed to solve all the problems. And WPA is far better than WEP. It uses a strong encryption method called TKIP. TKIP stands for Temporal Key Integrity Protocol. So that is what it stands for, and it uses dynamic 128 encryption key, which is far more better than WEP, and it were very harder to break into. And it was also included with a message integrity check. Although it had so many other advantages compared to WEP, TKIP still had so many vulnerabilities which made them to upgrade it or improve it to another level, that is WPA2. So let's talk about the WPA2. It was earlier introduced in 2004. It provides even better security compared to the previous two versions. So it uses AES, and this term is very important. And AES stands for so it stands for Advanced Encryption Standard. It was so efficient that it was also being adopted by the US federal government for doing their government transactions. And then it WPA became the industry standard from 2006. And the Wi-Fi Alliance required all the certified devices to use the WPA2. Example, as we move on further to the WPA3, it was far more better than all the other Wi-Fi protocols. It offered major improvements in security, and it overcame all the challenges which were there in the previous protocols. So there are some threats also for this Wi-Fi. There are some major threats like MITM, and then the packet sniffing, and these are the main threats I can say. So basically, MITM stands for man in the middle attack. What this means is MITM attack happens when a hacker secretly intercepts the communication between two devices on a Wi-Fi network, and the attacker set up an fake Wi-Fi access point that looks legitimate, but it is not. When users connect to this kind of a network, the attacker can capture their data such as login credentials and personal information. So for example, if a user connects to what seems like a public Wi-Fi at a coffee shop, it is similar to an access point set up by an hacker, and the attacker gains access to the user's email login credentials or details when they sign in. And the second one is packet sniffers. Before understanding what is packet sniffing, we must understand what is a packet actually. A packet is something like whenever we send data to someone, or some data to a server, we like the data will be broken down into small parts called as packets. And better understand the concept of packets here, that is whenever we send a data from our PC to uh, maybe a server or any other thing, then the data which we have sent will be divided into small parts called packets. So these are like packets, and then they undergo a lot of the things, they undergo a lot of hops in between. These are the routers, and they undergo some kind of hops in them, and then finally they will reach the server. So that's how the whole thing actually works. And so when it comes to packet sniffing, it is like the packet sniffers are tools that monitor and capture the data that is transmitted over a network. Although packet sniffers are used for legitimate purposes in the network, but in network monitoring, they can be exploited by the attackers. Hackers can use these tools to capture unencrypted data such as login information and private messages. It happens mainly in this area, which is when the data packets are being transmitted in the router and then reach the server. In the middle, the hackers interrupt and then open that packet and read that information. So hackers can use these tools to capture unencrypted data. For example, using a password such as 123 weakens the network security. Changing it to something like a very strong password like this, it will be uh, offering you much stronger protection compared to the simple 123. So that is why it is important to keep stronger passwords. And then the next threat is weak encryption protocols. Basically, weak encryption protocols are like older encryption protocols such as WEP. As I said before, WEP is very weak protocol, and then it is wired equivalent privacy. They are vulnerable and can be cracked by the attackers. These protocols do not provide strong protection for the data transmitted over a network. And for example, a home network still using WEP encryption is targeted by an attacker. The hacker cracks the encryption and gains access to devices connected to the network. So that is about weak encryption protocol. Like we should not use such kind of protocols. And then cracking and decrypting passwords, which means hackers use techniques such as brute force, which means generating passwords with the help of computers to attack uh, to guess network passwords. This method involves trying various combinations of characters until the correct password is found. Even the complex passwords can be cracked with advanced tools if not updated regularly. For example, a hacker uses password cracking software